3, 2, 1. Yeah. You already know what time it is. It's your boy Demetrius behind the lens. This is another episode of the Creative Vibe Podcast 004. And I'm here with a very special guest. I really am hyped for this interview. This guy has got some legendary photographs, and I always love when I see something real legendary like that, man. The one and only Flickmaster's in the building.
Yeah. What's up, dude?
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Man, this has been long overdue. We did another interview a while ago, and, things happen, and, we wanted to bring you back and get it officially out there, your story, because it's an iconic one, I believe. So I really appreciate it. I came across your work last year on Instagram on the Ain't No Jigger Instagram page. It was a nostalgic picture of Jay-Z, I think it was, that was posted from way back, and I was immediately like, who's this guy, Flickmaster? I was like, I never seen these photos, and usually you'll see photos from the past from other photographers, Chimo Dude, Jonathan Manning, Johnny Nunez, Sharif, like things will pop up. But there's always new photographers that you wind up finding out in the internet world, and you were one of them. So I was like, I have to get him on and talk about his journey and those images because they're timeless and they're part of hip-hop history, and I'm part of hip-hop history, and so are you now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Appreciate you reaching out to me. Shout out to Ain't No Jigger, Sharif, Johnny Nunez, and all those guys.
Yeah, they laid the path.
We
do.
Yeah. So.
Well, you came at a time really where this was like a lot of your work, from what I've seen, is from I think with the '90s, right? Mid '90s.
Most of my stuff is '96, '97, and a little '98. I did a little teeny bit in like '93. I was hanging out with my boys from Southside Queens.
Yeah. And
one of my boys, he's a street legend in Queens. He took me to a Nas video shoot, and I took a couple flicks there. It was Nas. Actually, it was AZ video.
Okay.
AZ was doing a video, and Nas was in it. Give me yours. And I
ran
up there, and I took some flicks. And I was wearing a white derby, had on the green suit. I'm actually in the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at that.
'93. Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was like in kindergarten, first grade, but that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what I love as technology moves on and time moves on. You get to you was on the set. I'm a kid.
Man.
A little bit, and then later on we sitting there having this discussion.
Yeah,
so that's kind of ill.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning though. I do want people to know, who is the Flickmaster? How'd you get the name? Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Like, how did we get to the point of even calling you Flickmaster?
All right, so I grew up in Southside Queens, Jamaica, Queens.
Okay, that's where 50 Cent's from.
50, Lost Boys, Onyx, a lot of people from around that way.
Shout out to my man Graf too. He's from out there, Graf.
Yeah, so the Flickmaster name, I took that actually from a brother, Latino brother, I believe, that I used to buy my tapes from back in the early 80s. I used to buy these Cold Crush tapes, Grandmaster Flash, and dudes like that, and he used to be called the Tape Master. He was the Tape Master. So I used to go up to Harlem, meet him, cop my tapes, because you couldn't get hip hop on albums at that time. Records wasn't out yet, and uptown, the Bronx, Harlem, that was popping, So I used to run up there and get my Cold Crush tapes from the Tape Master. So when I started taking pictures, that made me call myself the Flickmaster.
That's dope. That's dope. Now, obviously, you're a huge fan of hip hop and the culture, and most people are anyway. It's one of the most entertaining forms of music ever.
Yeah, it's dope.
And there's so many spectrums of hip hop. What inspired the camera aspect? You to decide I'm gonna pick up a camera and I'm just gonna take pictures of artists. Little obviously did you know that these people would probably become who they were gonna become, or the magnitude of the moment.
Right.
But what inspired? I'm going to take pictures of this guy Nas, or I'm going to take pictures of and how did you get access to a lot of these events? I know you mentioned your friend brought you to the Nas one, but overall, because there's a lot of heavy-hitter pictures here.
So the Nas thing, like I said, that was my man Jazz. God bless the dead. May he rest in power. He took me to the Nas, the AZ video shoot.
What'd you pick up the camera? Like what triggered, like what did you see that goes, yo, I'm gonna document this culture?
Well, that was just me. I had my dad bought me a camera when I was 12, so I was always taking pictures since a little kid.
Okay.
So when I drove to the video shoot, the Nas shoot. I was the ride there. So we rolling up there. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna bring my camera, and I'm gonna throw on I throw on the derby just in case we got in the scenes of the dead. You know what I'm saying? And I took some pictures. Met Raekwon up there, took flicks with him.
Okay, shout out to Ray.
On my joint.
Good friend.
Nas, AZ. But yeah, I always took pictures.
Okay.
And with Jay-Z, I heard him on Stretching Bobbito's show on the radio, like 3 in the morning. And I was like, yo, this dude is dope. I thought he was dope. Like, I A&R'd him, I guess, on my own.
Okay.
So then I was looking for his album to drop, and the album was taking a little time. So
which album was this at this time?
Reasonable
Doubt. So it's like 96,
he didn't have
95,
the album yet.
Okay.
So when I heard him, I reached out to the record label, to the record company. I called up there, and it was a young lady, Omi. So Omi answered the phone, and she sent me some promotional materials and stuff. And then I was calling up there, so I developed like a little friendship with the people up there. Shout out to my man Ray, F Sharp, Boy, Omi, Dara, Chaka Pilgrim. Anyway, I started going down there, and I would bring my camera. I took pictures of Dame and Jay and them in the offices, and then I was going when they were shooting videos, I would come. They always made sure I had credentials to get into the video shoots, the parties, and everything, and that's how it started.
That's so dope. You know what I'm saying? That's so ill. So how did it feel? What was your style? Did you fade in the background a lot of times when it came to, what was your approach to documenting? Because for me, when I get into the room and I get access, I kind of I make myself present if I can early on, so that they remember who I am. So I'm not forgotten. Like, oh, that's the guy that's there to take the pictures and establish that energy.
Right.
But then I like to really just fade in the back, not say nothing, just be far away as I can, maybe put an extendo lens if I can. So there's two sides, right? I just kind of fade to the back, try to take pictures while they're not paying attention. And then I like to bring people together. Was there a specific style that you had in these events? Like, what was your method? How did you, prepare, or, what was your approach to taking these pictures?
I can't say that I had like any particular style. At first, initially, I just wanted to take flicks, of the artists, and I would just approach them and ask them politely, if they mind if I take a flick. And most of them, they comply. Yo, they was cool. Like, yeah, I would just take candid shots. And then after I started getting these pictures, I was like, started going down to like the Vibe magazine was in the city.
Okay.
Right On magazine, Source, and develop relationships with the photo editors. So I started trying to sell my pictures. So I sold a few pictures. The majority of the flicks I had was Jay-Z, and at that time he wasn't that big. So I was pushing Jay-Z pictures, but the magazines wasn't taking them. They was looking for Biggie and Nas.
Yeah, because we think Jay-Z, and you think automatic, like, okay, yeah, those pictures should have been, but he wasn't really who he was.
Then,
That's funny.
So yeah, so I would just do that, and for me it was kind of like a hobby. I wasn't really trying to make money, I was working a full-time job, so I was just doing that,
enjoying the culture, and then just going out and capturing your favorite artists.
Yep.
That's cool.
Exactly.
That's cool. And back then there was no Instagram, there was no social media. So where did these pictures lay? Where did they go? Besides you trying to bring them to magazine companies and stuff, where did these photos stay? Where did they go?
I just had them in my archive. They was in the vault, and so after I retired from my job, I was looking for something to do. So I started thinking entrepreneurial. My son, he's entrepreneurial.
Okay.
He has his clothing line. Shout out to my son.
Yeah,
Jarrell, Big Den Bananas. So started getting ideas, like maybe I do a book. I wanted to do a large, coffee table book, or put my pictures on garments and shirts and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like trying to brainstorm and think of
some merch ideas,
right,
which is popping now, and I think that's a great idea because you got some classic stuff.
Yeah, I got a couple things. So, you know, I went in the vault, and the first thing I did was created my Instagram so that I would try to develop some type of following.
So these photos have been sitting in an archive for how many years? This is about what, 20 years maybe?
This is
almost?
like, well, for the 93 photos is 30 years, right? I think that's like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones would be 3 years less, say 27.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these are like literally blow the dust off the, you know, and open up the Pandora's box. Okay.
So, you know, I developed them when I took them.
Mm-hmm.
But the negatives, this was film. It was before digital. So,
exactly.
you know, I have all of these negatives, you know, and then I had to like buy a scan the negatives to get them in the digital form into the computer to get them on the IG, you know. And
what's the archive like? How many like different events, or let's just say like how much do you have? And is there anything that you do have that you can't show? Like that may be a picture of something that might be incriminating.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff that I haven't shown, but I don't know an exact number on my archive. You know, it's kind of extensive. I got a little something, you know, epic. And I don't put everything out there because I want to have it for my, you know, like when I do my book. If I, you know, get that.
You want to have some stuff that
hasn't been seen.
Exclusive. Yeah. That's dope. So in that journey, what camera were you using at the time, by the way?
Oh, man, like, I had cheap cameras, man. I had a Fujifilm. I don't even remember the model when I was taking the pictures.
Was it like a point and shoot kind of like camera, like one of those? Okay.
Yeah, with the, you know, it was all in one, and the lens, you know, the zoom lens
poked out we're pulling it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let me tell you a funny story. So I remember I was taking some pictures of Jay-Z. We went in a club. It was my man, Panama P.I., God rest the dad. He was a rapper up and coming at that time. I want to say, I think Raekwon was there, maybe Redman. It was a bunch of dudes in this club. It was a Def Jam party. And I'm taking pictures and it's dark. So the camera had like the flash with
the little orange light. So yeah, so
it was the strobe flash.
Okay.
So Jay-Z was like, yo, son, that camera's blinding me. Like he was like, yo, I want you to know how I feel. So I give him the camera. He took a picture of me in the club. It
that's
was dope.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's
he
funny.
was cool.
I could see him saying that because even now he's not really big on. Like at the Rock Nation brunch, I've seen him tell a photographer, you know, pull the camera down. He's very particular with people with their phones. He doesn't want anybody taking anything without his real consent. He's very, and I get it now because he's so big, he's worth so much that any picture he knows is valuable. So I guess he wants the G check, the verification on who's
he was
doing
always he was always cool with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I never had a problem with him, but I always ask first, like, yo, is it all right if I take this flick? He'd be like, yeah, come on. Pose with whoever he was with.
That's hard.
You know, I flick it up.
Do you think? Well, you were obviously a big fan of his, so you're advocating his work. Did you ever tell him that? Like, yo, I'm here to like, you know.
I never told him that.
Okay.
You know, but like, it's a couple of cats that I think are like goats. Like, so it started with me with Grandmaster Caz. I don't know if you know him. Of course, but we up here in the Boogie Down right now.
Yeah.
So
Grandmaster Caz.
That's who he was the man in the Cold Crush. JDL.
He's been a good friend for a long time. Yeah. Shout out to Grandmaster
so those
Caz,
dudes was who I started out. So Caz was like the first dope rapper who I thought was the dopest. And then, you know, I say like Rakim. You know,
okay,
like
of course. What was funny is last year we were together. We were Rakim and Caz. We did a show at the SOBs. I was there to document that. So.
I wish I would have been there, but yeah. So is Caz. It's Grandmaster Melly Mel. Rakim,
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Jay-Z. That's like my, you know, goats to me. Yeah. And
what was it about Jay-Z style at that time that made you go, yo, this is this guy? I'm like really a fan of this guy, because you know, men to men, you know, we don't, you know,
it ain't no like we ain't jocking him, but it was the wittiness.
Yeah.
You know, he was just witty with it.
Classy too. He was a little different too, right?
Talking that street ish.
Yeah.
With a certain like.
He was street, but he wasn't too gangster, right? It was like a gangster gentleman kind of like businessman.
I wouldn't say. Okay. I wouldn't say he wasn't too gangster. I would say he was gangster, but you.
Yeah, it wasn't in your face. It wasn't in your face.
He was smart about it. Like the way he put it, like it went over most people's heads. You know what I'm saying? Like
sophisticated.
You ain't understand it. Yeah, that's what you know, I thought about him.
Yeah, that's what I loved about Jay, because I was a huge. I'm still a huge fan of Jay-Z, but from when I was young, I had every CD. You know, I go to Times Square, I'm throwing up the rock. You got the big poster in the back, and I liked his balance because he was, you know, especially at the time when I got put on the Hove, it was more like he was transitioning from his old sort of Jay-Z self to the businessman, you know, Kingdom Come Now, button up, you know, and it inspired my whole dressing style. Then the whole all black thing, that was cool. And just his business savvy. And though he was still representing the streets in Brooklyn, which I'm from, Bed-Stuy, he kept pushing the bar, you know. And as I watched his career, I was like, man, I had a feeling that he would last as long as he would. It was like with LeBron. When I saw LeBron, I was like, yo, this guy's going to probably play till he's 40, 50 years old. Right. And that was the same premonition I had with Jay, because I could see him not losing. Yeah, it wasn't a dated
He was
thing.
different.
Yeah.
He was different. Very, you know, his to me, the lyricism was what was different and set him apart. You know, his wordplay was crazy.
How'd you feel about when he beefed with Dipset? You know, like that whole thing, because you know there was a lot of like, you know, that one record where Cameron put on all the records of Jay-Z and some of the lines that he borrowed. Now, obviously, we know Jay-Z's catalog is way longer than those, and obviously is paying homage to certain artists. But I always thought that was a really unfortunate breakup, because I like the Diplomat Jay-Z kind of thing, but you know, obviously, all great things can't last for too long. But
so I mean, like, as a fan of hip hop, is always, you know, we want everybody to get along, but it just ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of it. So it is what it is. You know, I like them both. You know what I'm saying? And I listen to them, and you know,
it was a good run.
It
was a good run.
Yeah,
my favorite song from them is "Welcome to New York City." I mean, that one too. They got that one out. So anytime I'm in the London world, you know, that's my motivational song. You know what I'm saying? To remind me of where I'm from and you know what we've done here, in New York. You know. So one question I want for you is: have you? And this has happened to me. Have you met anyone that you were like, oh snap, like I know this person. Wow, okay. And then you meet them, and it's like either they're not what you expected, or they're really mean to you for whatever reason, or you know, maybe they smack the camera. Like, has anything like that happened to you?
It's been a little. Nobody ever smacked my camera, but okay, it's some dudes a little arrogant, you know. Okay. And yeah, I keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I try not to take it personal. It is what it is. You know, we all men, but you know, sometimes you catch somebody at a bad time and see them again. Oh, they totally different. You know, it's like, oh, okay. So I never took it personal, but
I try not to. But I have had a few moments where it was a bit like disrespectful, or like to the point where I had to defend myself against an artist. Like, you're not gonna talk to me like that, bro.
Right.
Like,
hey, they don't know. Like, well, they should know. We men. Like, nah.
Well, you know what it is? It's this thing when you have the camera, like, and especially in our culture, it's like, oh, that's the camera guy. Like, you're some sort of offside dozer, kind of like pushover kind of guy. You're the camera guy. And I really hate that, because I don't like that title, camera guy. Like, you know, I'm a creative director. I'm a person that takes this craft serious. And it's a craft that, you know, if done right, can create some powerful results. So I never... You know, there's been moments in my career where I've had to like either G-check a iconic artist. I'm not even gonna say his name right now. Maybe I'll bring it up later on. But we had a huge argument because they were like, yo, who the F is this? And I'm like, yo, time out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta like, you have to defend yourself. We're men, you know what I mean? But at the same time, the ego or the paranoia of an artist, you know, not knowing who you are. Maybe they've had a situation where they were attempted robbery or something. You know, these guys go through a lot. So they want to know who's around. And then I've had people take my pictures. Very famous DJ, I was saying, has taken my picture and then post it, put his logo on it, and act like I didn't take it. Right. So I've dealt with people, you know, in the game. You know, we're all supposed to be trying to help each other, but you also do realize that just because we're the same background, color, culture, neighborhood, it ain't always gonna work like that. Sometimes your owner do you in. So you kind of have to have your defense mechanisms up with these artists.
Facts. It's like, the camera, sometimes the camera, it does good things for the artist. You know what I'm saying? You take an iconic shot and it blows up. You see it everywhere. That's your work. And just like, you know, the artists they get paid for their work and respected for their work. everyone should respect our work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just the way it is.
Especially when it's something meaningful, because obviously you have people that take pictures that want to sabotage an artist's career, right? Get them doing something wrong and then want to sell that out. I've never been one to want to do that.
Yeah,
I've always,
me either.
I've always,
all for the love. It's all love with me.
I want to capture iconic moments in a good light, you know, like whether you're on stage or, and that's why I fell in love with, like, you know, Jonathan Manning and his work, all the Jay-Z albums that he got a chance to do. And then, you know, being mentored and being great friends with Johnny Nunez, you know what I'm saying? And having his tutelage and his, you know, his blessing and opportunity to go through certain doors and to be able to be entrusted to be in a room with high profile figures which have generated millions for record companies and other people who are talented, and come in there and be the guy that's responsible for representing him. So, and his work of climbing on speakers and doing whatever it took to get the shot, and, you know, helping Jay promote himself by getting all the, you know, Denzels and Warren Buffetts to throw up the Rockefeller sign and create that sort of mental awareness towards the symbology of what, you know, Rockefeller was doing at the time. So it's, you know, to see, you know, what length you might have went to. Have you had to do anything crazy to get a shot, like jump over something or climb around to try to get that shot? Like,
I can't remember having to do anything crazy, but sometimes it's crowded and you gotta, you know, get yourself in position. You know, I've done that, but I want to shout Johnny Nunez out. I remember being right beside him back when I was taking these photos. You know, I knew him back then. You know, he probably don't remember me now, but I remember him.
Well, he'll remember now because we're gonna, he'll see it for sure.
Yeah, and I saw him recently, not too long ago. My cousin was doing something. He came. It was Gordon Parks Foundation dinner or award event, and I saw him there. He took pictures of my cousin. I spoke to him briefly. Dope. But shout out to him.
Did you tell him just a little bit about what you've done? Because, you know, I'm sure he would appreciate it. I spoke to him,
but it was, you know, the setting. It wasn't. You know, he was busy. He was running around doing his thing. You know, but I remember specifically at a few Jay-Z video shoots early on. It would be Minya O, who was Miss Info.
Okay, yeah.
Johnny Nunez, me, you know, a few other photographers, but like they were regulars and I was a regular. And Johnny, I remember him, he was a little flashy. He always came in, he had his camera sideways, you know, horizontal, vertical, you know, and then he kept it moving. I was like, oh, you know, that dude nice with the camera. You know, I was just starting out taking pictures as like basically a hobby. You know what I'm saying? And he was doing this thing. And shout out to him.
Yeah, I've always that was the same thing with me. I would always go to events through my journey, and I see Johnny pop up. He'd just come out of nowhere, and I'd be like, oh. And then once I realized he was there, this was very important. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, or someone's about to come out that's very important. Someone's in the building that's very important. And then one day I was at a Def Jam event, and I had already been getting momentum, and I had been invited out to this event. And Johnny came, and I was just, I was trying to get his attention, but, you know, Johnny will bounce around. He'll go here, he'll go there, and it's kind of hard to get his attention. And then, you know, I started taking pictures of, like, people in the industry doing selfies together, because those are very iconic pictures, right? A picture of a picture, and it's a specific type of time with the phone. So these will go down in history 100 years from now, when we're probably, like, taking pictures from our brain or something. I don't know. They got something there. So, and then he was taking a picture with Jeezy, and he had his camera, and he was doing a selfie, and I snapped it. And I didn't get a chance to show him the picture that night or nothing. And then it was Corey Gunn's birthday a couple days later, and Peter Guns was in the building. We were all there taking pictures. And Johnny comes, and I said, Johnny, I had the picture ready to go. Because I said, if I run into Johnny again while I'm in New York, I have to have this message ready to go. I can't be like, oh, I got a picture, and da-da-da. And I had it ready, and I showed him. And from that point on, he was just like, yo, I guess he understood what I was trying to do, which is documenting this particular part of history. Because I love photography. It comes natural. I love the idea and the power of capturing a moment and it living on either beyond my lifetime or generations down the line, and showing generations what the times were we were around. But being responsible, or one of the people to be responsible for what you've seen. So it's like, you look at the photographers of the 80s and the 70s, thank God we had them, right? They were in there, probably didn't get appreciated at the time, probably didn't see any financial gain from it, probably didn't see any accolade from it, But now we can go back to those. Like, wow, that was the Cold Crush Brothers. Then, oh wow, that was Grandmaster Cash at this basement party or that. And who knows what else is still out there
that we haven't
the
seen.
other Flickmasters in the world that are there. And that's what this, like I said, this platform is for that, is to spot those. Because I'm sure there's going to be someone who's going to see your work, which we're about to get into, and be like, holy snap, I want to be the one of my generation to document whoever the little yachties of the year of the world's now, whoever's coming down the line, and be part of history. Because hopefully down the line they'll Google us 200 years from now, and they'll be like, photographers from this particular era or this era, and our work will pop up, and maybe there'll be a museum for our kids or something. They'll call our great grandkids and say, look, we got something for you. So
yeah, no doubt.
So we might not, you know, it might not be, we might not super bank off of it. Hopefully we do. We got time, right? We're both healthy, looking good. But you know, at least down the line they get special. You know, the more and more, you know, God forbid things happen to artists, or the bigger they rise in fame, or maybe they come out. And now, you know, like, you know, pictures of 2 Chainz, let's say, from back when he was with Luda. Those would be very valuable now because he's come out as 2 Chainz and he's blown up as that. So things like that. So I know you have some photos.
Oh yeah.
So I want to, so maybe let's go through. I think you got like 3. So I want you to, we're gonna have to put the camera on you, and you can kind of like show the world the picture, and then maybe describe a bit about what that moment was. So let's go through the first one here.
The first one I brought up.
Oh snap! Okay, Mary J. So,
looking lovely, and I think that's the mink.
Yeah, that's definitely chinchilla style, right?
Chinchilla. That's probably what it is. But this was in Hot 97, in the lobby after they did interview up there. I think they did an interview with, not sure if it was Angie Martinez back then. Shout out to Angie. I love Angie too.
Yeah. Angie was definitely the voice in New York back then. It was always Angie and Flex, right? It was Angie before, and then Flex would come on after. I think it was like around.
I'm not sure. I think Angie was like in the afternoon, and Flex like early evening, and Flex was like later on.
Yeah, later on, bomb dropping all day. Never forget that. Okay, that's Mary J. Blige. That's dope, man. That's young Monet from Power.
Monet.
Yeah, young Monet from Power.
Okay, next we got this Biggie. This is one of my favorites.
Wow, look at that one.
These are glass. So Biggie and Mase. This is glass prints.
And this is also at Hot 9, right?
Hot 97. That was the same night. They were all up there. Mary was with them, and you know, they did their thing up at Hot 97.
That's fire.
Yeah.
So were you booked to go up there? Were you you know, how'd you get up there? How'd you do this? This is pretty good. I mean, this is my type of style of stuff, you know.
I heard them on the radio.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going.
That's crazy. So how far are you? Because, you know, Hot 97 is located in Lower Manhattan. So where were you located, and how fast did you get over there?
At that time, I was in Queens. I was in,
wow.
I think I was in, like, I had a small apartment. We used to call it the Shoebox.
Okay.
In Flushing, New York, and Flushing, Queens. Yeah.
And you took the chance of driving from Flushing and driving straight down? I'm not sure. I may have been in the city, but I don't think so, because I wouldn't have had my cameras with me. But I don't really remember, but I just remember hearing them on the radio. That's crazy.
And I was like, yo, I think what motivated me most was I wanted to get a shot of the Notorious.
Yeah.
Blige.
And this was what? This would have been like 96? This had to have been like 90.
I want to say that was, I'm not sure.
About
I'm not sure.
Let's go.
I have it at home, but I'm not sure if
it's not early big. That's definitely not early big.
No,
that
was late.
That's after, you know, Ready to Die for sure.
It might have been early 97 sometime.
Oof.
Like February
or
so.
Okay, so this is maybe his last year.
They got on the winter coats. Yeah, I think that was right before.
The Cali trip and then him.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, to see that's what I love about photos like that, because to see Mase and Big, like I'm sure if Mase seen those photos right now, but before we get to this last photo, has any artist hit you up about any of these photos? Has anyone reached out to say, yo, like, I don't know, anything, whether it's new work, whether it's to come meet you and have a discussion or anything?
No. The funny thing is, like, I found that the bigger the artist, like, the less they, you know, you tag them in the pictures, they don't respond. Like, some of the mid-level artists, they might say, oh, dope shot, you know. Few artists they hit me up. You know, I tag everybody in the pics when I put them out, but most of them don't even. You know,
is that disappointing? Do you feel like
yeah, it's a little disappointing,
yeah.
you know, to me, you know, but it's cool, you know. I don't take it personal, you know. Yeah. Is one artist that I met him a few years back.
Okay.
I mean, well, more than a few now. It's probably about 2010 or so. I met him, and I told him I took pictures of him in the tunnel. He was chilling in the tunnel. I'm walking around in the tunnel, got my cameras. I'm like, oh, you know, that's dope. Flick him up. So I'm like, yo, I told him I took the pictures. So I knew I was gonna see him again. I said I'm gonna bring him. So I brought the pictures, gave it to him. He was like, yo, that's dope. I'm gonna do a book. You know, I'm gonna hit you up. We exchanged numbers and everything, but then he never like responded back to me or whatever. Anyway, when I made my IG page, I tagged him in the pictures. I don't know if they don't see him or what, you know, but never responded, nothing, you know, but it's all good, man.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because you would think, like, especially with this next one you're going to show, like, I don't know. I mean, if I was an artist that blew up and someone brought me a picture from way back, like, not one from, like, last year. I'm talking about, like, one from your early years, and it's a nostalgic picture. I would be like, yo, bro, that's hot. Like, let's, something. I mean, I don't know.
So the next flick is Jay, but I never tagged Jay because he don't have no.
Well, let's see, because you know, I talk to Lenny S every now and then.
I'm not talking about Jay in the thing that I was saying. I'll tell you off camera who I was talking about.
Okay. But yeah, this one here, I seen this one. I thought this was really cool. Yeah. Woo, that is so cool to me.
You see the phone?
That's crazy. I mean, I mean,
Big Sally.
But just lets you know what kind of vibe Jay-Z was on even back then. You know, he was young, but he was grown. He was already where he was at in Kingdom Come, I think, then. Yeah. And in some ways, you know what I'm saying?
So this was Can't Knock the Hustle video shoot.
Wow.
One of the scenes, we were down by South Street Seaport.
Oh wow.
And yeah, they was shooting down there. It was these twin girls.
Yeah.
That was in the video with them. I got flicks of them. I got a lot of flicks from that video shoot, but this was that.
That's crazy. I wonder if he even remembers that. I mean, that would be good to, because, you know, like, Jay's such he's an icon. He's a super icon. So it'd be dope to kind of get some love back from that. But, you know, I'll definitely be tagging certain people from this interview so they can.
Yeah, you know. I would love to like show Jay my archive or even meet him.
Yeah. Sit down and have a chat, man. Yeah,
I told you the story when we talked before about when I saw him at the Nets game. You know
we can talk about that again.
Saw him at the Nets game, and I was with my cousin. You know, my cousin is a freaking Hall of Fame football player.
Okay, yeah. For the Jets, was it the New York Jets?
Darrell Revis, yeah.
Dope.
So it was me, Darrell, and one of Darrell's boys, Chucky Fisher, and we were in the it's where you go at halftime, where, you know, the celebrities, they have a little spread put out for you and stuff.
Yeah.
So Jay was in there with I think he was with Steve Stout and I think OG Juan.
Yeah, one of his. He's always been with pretty much the same people. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Steve Stout, but I think I'm almost positive it was OG Juan with him. And you know, so I'm telling my cousin, I'm like, yo, bro, man, I took mad pictures of Jay. He gonna remember me. So he was like, yo, Jen, leave that dude alone. Like, leave that man alone. Like, don't go messing with him, right? So I was like, nah, you know, so I make my way over there, and I'm like, yo, Jay, you know, remember me? I used to take pictures of you. He was like, looked at me. He was cool though, but he was like, nah, I don't remember you.
You know what it is? I think it's because in their life, they've probably seen a trillion photographers, a trillion pictures taken that, you know, like the average artist would be like, yo, let me get that picture at some point. They get millions of high resolution photos taken of them, photo shoots that they don't even ask for those pictures. Probably
so many people. It's been so long. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking
so many years,
too much of myself. Like,
and I think that's what happens to us is we get caught up in our own work, and but I think it's especially the stuff that you've captured. But I think for them, they've been in media so long that it's them looking down versus you kind of looking up, like, I got these special pictures. But for him, he's like, man, I've taken 1 million pictures from 1 million photographers. But I think what makes where the unfortunate aspect of it is the particular time. Like, wow, oh wow, you got damn, like,
from,
you know what I'm saying? Like
when he was first coming up.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know, I mean, to I guess anybody that meets any celebrity or famous person, they always will remember that moment. But that person may or may not remember you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they meet
yeah.
so many people, but it was cool. So we fast forward maybe a month later.
Yeah. Bring the mic closer to you. Bring it, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just move it to. Yeah, there we go. Now
so
you sound clean.
we went back to another game. So I'm like, okay, Jay might be here again. So I put together a little small photo album.
Okay.
Little small one with a bunch of pictures of Jay. So sure enough, he was there. I went in and I showed him my photo album. I let him look through the pictures, and he liked it. He was like, "Oh shit, yo, look, pop, pop." I had it was a picture of him with a bunch of champagne bottles on the table, and he was counting them, showing the Steve Stout or whoever he was with. He was like, "Yo, look, pop, 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 pop." Yeah, it was funny, but it was cool.
And that was at the Nets game.
It was at the Nets game. Same place.
Dude, you walked up to him. He was the front row. Just tapped him.
No. We was in the. I forgot what they called the lounge. It was like the Marquise Jet Lounge. Or something like that,
and you got a chance to kind of.
So being that I was with Rel, you know, Rel get
access.
Yeah, access to these places. So Jay was in there, and so that's a true story with
That's
Jay.
Fire, man. That's fire. Did he remember you this time though? Did he?
I didn't ask him if he remembered me. It was only a month. Prior, a few weeks, not even, and you know, he was cool though. He looked at all my pictures. He said,
"Well, they're gonna remember now because shout out to Lenny S. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, shout out to Lenny S. Yeah, no doubt.
Word, because he's another one of those guys that inspired my work. Just being with Jay and then just having that sort of behind the scenes access to something that was building over the years.
His stuff is dope. I saw just the other day they was at, I guess, College Place in Miami, and he showed the Audemars Piguet.
And you know he's got so much stuff, and I think that's what it is.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. He's got a guy like Lenny, right? He had a guy like Johnny around. So like, there's a lot of archives I'm sure that they already have sitting. So it's like, man, I've got all of this here. But has there been any artist that has, like, you know, hit you up and maybe, you know, is there anyone you would want to work with going forward? Would you want to get back into taking photos more of the artists? Are you doing that now? Are you finding time to do that? Or are you kind of like looking to move on to other aspects of taking your work and putting it on merch and just keeping it that way?
Yeah, I'm probably more so leaning toward that. Like, you know, doing a book. Like to show my pictures, and maybe the merchandise and stuff, you know. Yeah. More so than me running around trying to be doing what I used to do.
Flickmaster 2.0.
I mean? But I would love to meet, you know, the people that I met and took pictures of and show them, you know, my work.
I think it would be worth trying to reach out to some of these places or managers or some people, put your watermark over it, obviously. Yeah. And just be like, look, you know, this is my catalog of work from back then. If y'all interested in doing because sometimes they do documentaries, right? I think, you know, Jay's probably due for a documentary, a big one.
That photo right there, the one I just showed to Jay, it appeared in a documentary on MTV.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't give permission. I guess I had gave the picture to somebody at Rockefeller. And when I was looking for pictures, they used it. So I'm watching the documentary. I'm like, oh, that's my picture.
Damn.
So I hit them up. They cut me a little check.
Okay. Yeah. I think definitely I would suggest trying to do that maybe again, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you got there that I think could be used for the for documentaries or for any other program that goes on to cover other artists' background. Yeah. I know I would love my stuff too. You know what I'm saying? I've taken some timeless stuff, and there's a feeling that I get. There's an adrenaline rush that I get when I get asked to go to an event, and it's like, all right, because it's not only do I want to get the photos of the artist, just the photo. I want to get something that you don't see. I want to be in the room. The story will tell you the picture. Like, okay, like when I covered DJ Khaled, Grateful, we're the only ones in the studio. It was Sharif and me and then Johnny. Like, there's no one else that's going to have those photos. And those are good company to be in. You feel what I'm saying? Yes. Like, okay, you got an angle, I got an angle. Who's the people that got the angles? Okay, Johnny and Sharif. Oh, and Demetrius behind the lens. Okay. That's, like, you know what I mean? That's good company. That's the company I like to be in. So even if I don't necessarily get mine out, I know we're part of that same moment. Right. Historically. And yeah, you know, I live for those moments, you know, and I do live for trying to, like, there is an adventure of going to the venue and then dealing with the ego of security trying to get in, and you're like, yo, I'm such and such, or they're like, well, I don't really
know
know.
you.
Yeah, they trying to put, even if
don't,
they do know you.
You don't know me yet.
You don't know me
will.
yet, but you do know me, but you might want to just give me a hard time because you're probably thinking of, and then you get in, eventually that goes down, and then there's the like getting to the artist, and then sometimes you got to deal with them not knowing you, or you know,
right.
or
looking wearily at you like, yo, who's this? Like,
yeah, because you're a guy, right? And these are guys. So testosterone's like, all right, and I'm 6'3", so I stand out. So I was like, all right, here's this big light-skinned guy coming over here, you know. So, you know, sometimes it's challenging, but I live for it. And then when I finally break through and the artist is like, their guard is down and we've gotten some timeless photos, I just, at the end of the night, I feel just like I did something real special, and that keeps you going.
Yeah, no
you know
doubt.
what I mean? So
I wouldn't mind like doing some events, but I wouldn't want to do like, I was like on the grind like all the time, out every night.
Yeah,
late 4 o'clock.
Well, it changes. You got different
I'm older
priorities.
now.
Yeah, it's different.
Like,
you can be out till 4 in the morning, wake up at 8. You know what I'm saying, and go back and do what you got. And you know, I mean, I'm still in the midst of it though. I'm still in the thick of that particular part of my career where I'm still out and about. You know, I do go to some events. I don't stay out as long as I want to anymore and stuff like that. Being that I have a family, I'm a little older. But when I am in New York, when I am in London, and there are certain events going down, which like there's some coming to London and stuff like that. If I do get the access, I do switch on that mode because I know the importance of staying in it and continuing to get these photos. So, but it would be cool to see you behind the lens again.
Hey,
just
man, definitely,
you know, get your nowadays the point and shoots, they're really good.
Really?
Come on out, you know what I'm saying? Because you got a story. So if you wear your merch, come out, maybe come join, collaborate with the Beach Behind the Lens.
Doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, we make a thing of it because I think the backstory for you would be ill. They'll be like, oh snap, snap, okay, and then you have it on you. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So
let's do it.
And I definitely want to bring you back as a panelist or at least to join on a live stream while I'm doing maybe the next generation of creative, someone younger than even me and you. Right. We can sit and talk too and stuff like that.
Whatever you're doing, D, let me know, man.
Nah, definitely.
I'm there.
Well, where can the people find you? Where can they find your photos? What you know, is there you know, anything you got coming up? Anything that you want the people to know before we wrap up?
Well, what I got coming up is hopefully my coffee table book. That's what I want to put together.
Fire.
With large color photos, hardcover, and maybe some merch. I got to think about that.
Well, we could talk. We could talk because I'm in the process of working on that. You know what I'm saying? So
merch. And right for now, you can just find me on IG, the Flickmaster, the _Flickmaster. Working on getting a YouTube. What's the other one? TikTok.
Yeah.
And all that. You know, I need my son to help me out because I'm not
they on
social media savvy. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's for now. We're working on the website.
I'll tell you this much. I'll give you this much. I'll give you a compliment. You are a very well put together brother, man. Like I know you.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I know you're not spring chicken, but you don't look old. You know, you're OGs. Man. You know, sometimes guys get older and you still got your waves, your hair, the bed is full.
Yeah, I didn't go bald yet.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
so
I'm up there, man.
You're an inspiration for cameramen everywhere. Because sometimes we get, you know, cameramen, they get out of shape. They look a little.
Yeah, nah. Yeah. I try to stay fit and you know, take care of myself. You know, so I can be around. You saw my grandbaby over there.
I'm inspired, man. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna get aged like fine wine, man, because that's definitely what you have done.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And your work is amazing. I think your story is dope. I think what you have here, keep pushing, keep refining, keep finding ways to come up with merch and different ways to put your work out there. And I'm just honored to be able to tell your story, be one of the first people to probably tell your story and do it official. So anything that happens after that, you know what I'm saying? God bless. And thank you for coming to the show, bro.
I appreciate you, man. And thanks for having me. I'm glad we bonded.
Yeah, man. Did. Yes, sir.
And it's a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Anything you got going on, you let me know. I'm there, man.
Oh, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Demetrius Behind the Lens. This has been another episode of the Creative Vibe Podcast with the Flickmaster, episode 4. Make sure you check this out, listen to it, tap in, leave some comments, you know what I'm saying, and tap in with my guy on social media. It's your boy Demetrius Behind the Lens. This is the Creative Vibe Podcast, and we're signing out. Peace.